Maybe have it out in front of us or next to us.
Yeah. Want to go to Maui? He's gonna do.
Can you hear the ocean?
Yeah, those are real. Those
You
two.
can, I think so, with the airflow in them.
You can put it right down the floor if you want. Oh, when she's
You
done.
have to.
See, it totally. Okay, can I put it? I don't know. Something's coming out. Was it a blind?
It's a
Oh my God!
Oh
It's
gosh,
a
you
lion
caught
rolling
head.
circus filter. Sorry,
It's a blood roll.
It's a lion rolling circus filter. Okay, well, you guys are live. I'll cut that off later.
Cool. Thank you,
When you want, let her know about the red thing when you're ready.
Yeah. Are you doing headphones?
Madison Orange.
Hi. I love it.
I'm gonna hit live stream.
You cannot access.
Thank you for coming.
What were these boots? They look good on there.
I know. Sorry, my
Very professional.
That girl. I love it.
Okay, so it won't let me like. We're just gonna start recording.
Cool. Hey, you take a picture real quick.
Sure. So yeah, for pictures. Ready?
Madison Orange.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
We meet again.
We have.
We met.
We've met.
Do me a favor. We're gonna start with right now. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What's up? What's up? This is Mark Mainini on the Mark Mainini Show. Caliente girls here in Dash Radio, Century Towers, Century City. What's up, Madison Orange? I am here with the lovely Madison Orange. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's awesome to see you again. I saw you actually this past weekend.
Yes.
And what was that all about exactly?
You know, I think you saw me. I was doing my LED performance for a private event. So.
And let me tell you something real quick. I've seen a lot of entertainers. I've been in the industry a long time. You're very talented.
Thank you.
Can you tell them exactly what you do?
Sure. I have specialized for the last 15 years in LED props, mostly hula hoops. So I do multi hula hoops before COVID, of course, a lot of big events, raves, festivals, as well as birthday parties, corporate events, weddings. So I bring LED entertainment alongside of bands or musicians, and we kind of illuminate, and that's one of the words we use, illuminate the audience, illuminate the person we're highlighting, such as the birthday party person, or so.
Somebody it's special for, like a wedding.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. You're doing weddings. Shout out
Yeah.
to like Bobby Hardy and DJ Versatile. They do the same type of stuff,
Cool.
but in their own entertainment type of way.
Right.
You, on the other hand, I meet you and you're over here doing the hula hoop with like 8 different hula hoops going all different angles.
Yep.
You're doing cartwheels and you're still doing this flame hula hoop on your foot.
Yes. So I also do fire. So a lot of the
It's
props.
amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
You know, I forget how
Kind of
cool
like
it is.
drew it to me. It kind of helps keep the guys away though, right?
You know, it gets that 6 feet distance before that was even a rule. I
Hey,
get that
that
rule.
quarantine, right?
All about it.
Oh.
All about it.
And I got to shout out real quick. My boy just introduced me to his own product, Quarantine, South Bay product. It's verbally known to be chronically due at this time right now with what's going on.
Right.
We've got all this 6 feet distance and staying away from each other to where it's quarantine.
Right. And you know what? Also, you're not coughing and smoking. You actually get high and you're not coughing and freaking people out.
Exactly. It's kind of like my girl Kitty said, you're like right cannabinoids and you kind of like figure that out where you know what you should smoke and what you could deal with.
Right.
This, I feel like I've had every brownie and I'm over here, every brownie I love. And I get
Cool.
that same kind of like upbeat reaction. It's awesome. I can't wait for you to have it, Kitty. But in the meantime, are you a cannabis girl?
I am. I do. I smoke marijuana. I've been smoking it for a long time. My big story with it was, when my mom found out when I was a teenager, she's like, "You're smoking pot." And I'm like, "Mom, I get straight A's. I do everything right. this is the one thing that helps me with my stress and not being like an angry teenager. And really, she was like, all right, you're fine. I think it's something you earn when you're younger, you know, like you don't just do that right. Or you shouldn't, you know, it's just like drinking.
Right, you should kind of just feel it out.
Yeah, if you're not getting your stuff together, like your schoolwork, and you're not being a good kid, then you're not, you know, you haven't earned smoking. I don't think. But, you know, it really helps me with my stress when I was younger. And it's not easy being a teenage girl.
And with you being so creative and doing what you're doing, did it help when you were doing all this cannabis stuff to kind of broaden your horizon?
You know, what it helped with was was kind of like centering me. It helps you to not be so anxious and crazy and all over the place. I feel like smoking pot, it calms you down, so I'm able to focus on my priorities and my goals, as opposed to it looking, you know, limitless and crazy and no options. You're like kind of more put together when you smoke properly,
right.
Which is why it's medicine.
Basically saying that your head is screwed on straight.
Totally.
And that's basically what it does for me, because with the 6 metal plates I have on my face, I wake up with some migraines, and it's killer to where like something like this helps a little bit. Pot, I was always an athlete, but you know, as an athlete, I wanted to perfect my craft and I wanted to practice all the time, and I stayed away from it. Later on in life, after this accident and all that, where I had migraines, it helps.
Yeah.
And I've had, you know, the car accident and bed rest, it helps.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited with what's going on with them, because they got the shatter, the sugar, everything you need to get high the way that you want to.
I love it. And it feels just more safe, and it feels like they're really catering towards a healthy way of doing it, you know?
Yes.
And I love that.
And I want to attack that healthy way even more.
Yeah.
You see what's going on with the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's going on there. I'm sorry for you guys. I feel for you guys. You got to remember, this is the third wave. We kind of knew this was going to happen back in February. We knew that flu season was going to come back and have this brutal takeover with what's going on. And I really feel for the restaurant industry and my guys over there at Sharky's. You know, I worked there for 5 years, and those guys are really hustling. They're putting in hard work to be where they're at. And just shout out to them, because everyone's looking out for the nurses, right? Everyone's looking out for the front line. Everyone's looking out for the healthcare. People need money. What's going on right now is kind of like the first time that's happened in 100 years, and people don't know what to do.
Right.
The first time ever. So now that you know, everyone's trying to speak their opinion and everything is fact to them, just make sure you do your own research. Do the obvious. What did nurses and doctors do before you even walked in with COVID or not? They had masks on.
Right.
Just wear a mask. Everybody just need to wear a mask. You calm the curve, you make sure the curve is good. Then we could go out.
I know.
We could do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You could go do your hula hoop, burning fireworks and all this stuff. And I'll do my LED trucks, and we'll combine forces, and we're going to have some fun.
I love it. I can't wait. And until then, we're just going to be safe and do things right, you know?
And you got to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that word right there is very key, especially right now, probably to like February, March, where it's flu season. You know, a lot of that sickness is going around anyways. And you just want to make sure that you're good. Make sure that your grandpa's good. Make sure your grandma's good. It's a common courtesy of everybody else. So tell me, I talked to you a little bit about your family. Where'd you come from exactly?
You know, I'm from the Inland Empire, which is right outside LA. I mean, it's still LA County, but I've lived a lot of places. My mother's lived in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for now 13 years. Yeah, so she moved out there when I was a teenager.
Mexico. Shout
out to Mexico.
Caliente.
I'm like, this makes sense. I did go out there once a year for many years. I also spent a year out there when I was 19, because you can drink, and I was under 21. So I moved in with my mom for a year.
You're taking advantage.
And I worked in clubs, fire
dancing. You don't mind me
asking,
what is your ethnicity?
I am Native American and Scottish. So not my mom is not.
You know what's funny? I said that with an accent. What's your ethnicity? And then you're over here like Scottish.
Scottish, it just came right out.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you're Scottish.
I am.
Beautiful faces girl has. Check out Madison Orange on Instagram. I just want to bite her nose off. But coming from that creative entertainment background where you grew up in probably middle school, I'm guessing, or maybe elementary school, where you knew that you had that craft. Did you ever do any instruments? Did you go into show choir, chorus?
Yeah, absolutely chorus. And I was I was an only child where my mom was always like, here's a microphone, honey, sing in front of my friends. My mom was a showgirl in Las Vegas. So I had a lot. I had a young mom that was really much about pretty, performing, being a girl, being center of attention. So it really rubbed off on me. So it came really natural. When I discovered hula hoops, it was because I went to Burning Man when I was 16, which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Were you doing hula hoops like when you're 8?
No, I mean, not every
You just
kid.
Started at 16.
Well, because it's a lot.
You guys got to check out Madison Orange. I'm telling you, what she does with the hula hoops is kind of insane. And I'm over here. You can't believe that she started at 16 years old.
Totally.
Wow.
When I was 16, though, I was with DJs and I was with
like everything is so symmetric. Even when you have like the 8 umbrellas, it all looks like perfect.
Mandala. It's the mandala shape, I think, is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which I think I specifically
I was
did
watching
that
it
trick.
all night. I had the lotion out and everything.
I did that trick to impress you, I think. I felt that one. I saw you there and I was like, I'm going to do my biggest trick right now.
Here we go. You heard it here first on the Mark Mainini Show. Madison Orange is trying to impress Mark Mainini. But it already happened.
I love it.
Yeah, but
it came natural.
Yeah, it came very natural. That's what I love about you. I can see that right away. The aura, the vibe, you have that. It's not just your hair color. That's how you present yourself.
Thanks.
And it's awesome.
You know, I usually interview people for Fire Lane Radio. So to have this come back on me right now, I'm like loving this
back
attention.
up. I'm putting you in the corner. Yeah. No, but this must be cool to finally, talk about what you actually do. Because what you do is awesome. Not many people could do it.
Thank you.
You just can't run up there and be like, let's go.
Sure. And I teach it. And I taught it for many years actually at a dance studio down the street here called Jagged Vertical
That's what
Fitness.
I was going to ask you next.
Shout out to that studio, which
what's the studio?
Jagged Vertical Dance and Fitness, right on Santa Monica, down the street from here in Century City.
And you're teaching it?
I was teaching there for many years. And then my art honestly isn't that popular. So I wasn't like selling out classes. Nobody wants to be a multi-hula hooper.
Right.
They want to be pole dancers
right.
or twerk dancers. And so people would go to those classes and then
the dirty stuff.
Yeah, pole dancing is very But people would see a hula hoop class and be like, oh, okay. And then once they try it, it's not something you get right away. So you might just get frustrated and not want to do it. And I've traveled a lot and worked with advanced artists to help them be better hoop dancers, but that's so unique and specific. It's hard to sell out a class is all I'm saying. And I'm saying that in Los Angeles.
Correct.
Because it's not, it's not like pole dance or yoga where there's 20 people who sign up for a class like that.
Right. So Panama Joe is back in Long Beach, used to work there, and I remember a hula hoop girl who couldn't do half the stuff that you do.
Oh, well, I'm sure she's awesome.
And she would do like one leg at a time and then this and that, and I just remember that. And then I saw you, and she's over here like doing a handstand with the hula hoop going around your foot.
Something like that. I can't do handstands as much anymore because I dislocated my shoulder many years ago, so I'm kind of limited.
So you got the injuries too.
I'm getting the injuries more and more, and that's when I started focusing on DJing, was because I've been just getting injured so much.
Tell me about this DJing stuff. I see that you jam out in your room.
Bedroom DJ.
Yeah, you're doing all this fun stuff on live.
Yeah.
And then what's that radio station that you're
So I'm with Fire Lane Radio, which is firelane.radio.com. Fire Lane. I'm a part of radio.com, and it's all EDM style artists, house music, tech house, big room music. And I'm one of the DJs that makes mixes for this channel. So it's 97.1 HD3 or radio.com. And I'm on there about twice a day, different hours.
So I can hear you on the radio.
Actually, I'm on right now.
No way.
Yeah, I'm on the radio right now. So, but don't tune out.
The people on live are just switching off right now.
Don't switch, go back and forth. So today is 5 to 6. I mean, every day is different, but I'm really honored to work for that station because I get to play the music that I love, which is bass house, basically rave music.
And I see that also your next guest is Afroman.
Afrojack, yes.
Afrojack.
Yeah, Afrojack. Afroman's awesome. No, Afrojack, which is a huge artist, and if you're familiar with the EDC culture, you absolutely know who Afrojack is.
100%. I saw him in Vegas.
Yeah, he was actually one of the things I researched about him doing the interview I have with him next Tuesday. He was the first EDM artist to get a residency in Las Vegas. So that's huge because now we 100%. See everybody. And I know you've worked with Scotty Boy before. I know you work with some artists and they all have residencies in Vegas now. To look back that far and be like, I'm about to interview Afrojack, who just bridged that gap between hip hop or mainstream and brought EDM to Vegas. Hello. I think
EDM. So I love that sound, and I love how that new culture came to the rise. And if you could go back to when you first heard EDM or that sound, and what made you want to do that?
Well, okay. So coming up as a Burning Man person. EDM was kind of like, oh, that's for kids because we didn't like EDC. We go to Burning Man. So we listen to house music. We listen to tech house. We listen to specific genres that we don't like called EDM. And that was about 10, 15 years ago. Now we've accepted that it's grouped in with EDM. We've had to, otherwise we look like assholes, all the time because we like compete with that. It's all EDM. It's all electric dance music. It's all part of it. And so I've been knowing of it for a long time,
When you do that, when you incorporate what's going on with the hula hooping to the DJing, do you do your own what's it called? Practice or dance to it?
Yeah, actually, because I'm very familiar with the music I play, that then I end up able to write choreography in my head. So let's say I put on a track while I'm DJing, I have been known to go in front of myself or in front of the DJ equipment and do a hoop show to a specific song.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is
it is kind of.
that is awesome. So when you have all that in that back door, when the world is open, what do you tell people that you do when you present yourself to these places?
I do like to say I'm a fire dancer because when I say I'm a hula hoop artist, one of the first things I hear are my 8-year-old daughter hula hoops. I'm like, okay, I know everyone has a hula hoop, but you don't. Your daughter didn't get sponsored by Spearmint Rhino doing hula hoops in Minnesota at a strip club like I did 10 years ago. So I don't like saying I'm a hula hoop dancer because people just don't get it. Like you saw me last weekend, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of have an idea now.
Right.
So when I just say I'm a fire dancer, you kind of get an idea of that entertainment, so that's what I say I do.
Okay, and that brings out more of that personality of who you are.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just tell somebody that, you kind of get a good gist of somebody.
Sure.
Without them even doing that right in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. I think
it's
you're
like, whoa, this girl's got some talent, creative juices flowing.
Oh.
And the DJing part, who do you want to take up after? Who do you sound like, or who do you feel like? I know you're playing a lot of...
I play a lot of different producers that I'm in love with, and I do every week when I'm making mixes for the radio, I discover new artists that might not be new, but of course they're coming out more popular now because music is just so quick and fast right now because everyone in quarantine has had time to make music, so all of a sudden it's just like...
Shout out to quarantine. Cannabis quarantine, sorry.
Every time we say it, we're going to eat a cookie. Yeah. We're going to have a cookie every time we say quarantine.
We'll have a fun night. I'll tell you that much.
Wait, what's the question? I'm just excited for a cookie now.
Yeah, right. I love it. I'm here with Madison Orange. Madison Orange, where'd you get that name, the orange from?
Well, when I was like 12, 13, I was going to desert raves up in the high desert. We didn't really know that's what they were. We were dressed weird. We had binkies in our mouth. We were running around listening to music.
Days, right?
Yeah, back in the days. So I used to wear these big orange raver pants that had tons of pockets, and I'd have all my stuff in them. And one day this kid was just like, you're like an orange fantasy. And I'm like, well, my name's going to be Madison Orange. So because orange fantasy sounded a little weird, but it kind of worked together. And it's really funny. My mom actually, through a long story, got the last name legally changed to Green. So now my mom is Karen Green and I'm Madison Orange. And it just worked out that way. We didn't mean to make that happen.
You just love colors.
I guess so.
Yeah, you guys.
So what's Mark going to be? Mark? What's your color?
I like the dark colors.
Okay.
So I think black or...
Mark Black sounds awesome.
Yeah, Mark Black.
I like it.
Yeah, something. Might have to change the Instagram right now. You heard that here, folks. Mark Mainini Show, Caliente Girls, Dash Radio. I'm here with Madison Orange. Check her out on Instagram, please. Just type in Madison Orange, and you just check her out. Don't get mesmerized by her eyes. I'm not looking at them right now. But as far as the hula hoop, you might get mesmerized. And this is some awesome stuff. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Glad we made this happen. I'm hoping to have you for the time being and for future.
Yeah, I love what you do. I love your guests. Everything seems pretty awesome. So I'd love to come back.
I can't wait to introduce you to Coco and all the girls that are bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some fun. And then once the world opens back up, God forbid, we're going to have a lot of fun doing what we do.
Yeah.
In the public eye, being a common, influence to the community. And we're always going to be a part of that. And it's glad to have you aboard. Madison Orange, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me, is there something that you do that you wish you did a long time ago?
DJing. I wish I focused on that more.
That's
like
what I was going to ask.
I was gonna say, like when I was 16, I saw hula hoopers and I saw DJs, and I knew I wanted to go one way or the other, either dancing or playing music. And the first thought I had was DJing. This was 2006. DJing is a male-driven industry, and I won't get far, so I'm going to be a dancer. And I regret that in a sense because, first of all, that's not cool. That I was in that mindset, and it was at that point. It was a male-driven industry, and I was scared to break
really
into
was.
it. So 5 years ago when I got injured and I started focusing on DJing, it happened to be at a perfect time where it was really more accepted by men and women, both men and women together and separate, because there's DJ duos now. Shout out to like Average Citizens, who are awesome out of Canada, a DJ duo with a male and a female. I'm like, that's cool, because 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't have really seen that. So
awesome. I know exactly what you mean. Working at Sharky's and Panama Joe's, I worked with hundreds and thousands of DJs every night. Just setting up different DJs.
Yeah.
And to say that you say that it was a male dominant is for sure.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see shout out to rest in peace DJ Snow.
Okay.
Some just girl from Colorado came in, happened to hear on Facebook. She passed away like 2 years ago. I had her first time she was in Sharky's. I remember the face she had when she got lit up, and she was just like, I get to play at Sharky's.
Yeah.
And it was nothing crazy.
Yeah, but you get to play, you know?
But for her, for somebody who was just trying to come up and be decent at what she does and have that joy, is something that I really love to see in that atmosphere, that party atmosphere.
Sure.
But before the party.
Yeah.
But you see it before the party, and you actually see them actually just light up.
Yeah, that's what you get to experience while doing your
And rest in
event.
peace to her.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't recall what happened. I don't care. I just remember that story, and I remember I made her very happy that day. It was pretty cool. And just to see more females getting in that part of DJing, there's nothing females can't do.
Absolutely.
There's everything that they could do, and they could probably be even better at it.
Absolutely. Well said, Mark.
Wearing the Dickies and all the pockets full and all that, like you could still run faster than the boys. You know what I mean? And you could be having dirty knees, dirty elbows, and you can work just as hard.
Yeah.
And just as long as the women get the credit they'd always deserve.
Yeah.
And you got to keep it even on the playing field here.
I agree with that. I'm still a little old school, though, where I think a guy should open a door.
Well, old school right here.
As even as we are, I still want you to open a door.
I'm definitely opening doors. And I'll be closing them, too. And we'll talk. Shout out to Madison Orange. This is the Mark Mainini Show, Caliente Girls Dash Radio. Thank you, Kitty. I plan on having you soon. I can't wait for you to meet the cast, and we'll have some fun. Mark Mainini Show, Madison Orange, right here, girls.
I did it.
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
Thank you.
Woo! That was good.
That's awesome. Yeah.